Art and culture can help people surmount barriers and make the city more attractive. What's more difficult is finding a way to make that happen. That means coming up with a strategy for getting financial support, setting priorities, and getting Boston people involved in the arts more connected. That's the reason for a cultural plan Boston Creates, released in draft form earlier this week. And the deadline for public comment is this Saturday. To discuss the plan and the process is our guest, the Mayor's Chief of Arts and Culture, Julie Burrows. Thank you very much for being with us, Julie.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
I want to start with some of the strong language in this draft here about a fundamental shift in attitudes or mindset. What does that mean?
Well, with the name Boston Creates, we really embrace the fact that most everybody has an impulse to engage in some kind of creative expression. Very rarely at the level of an artist or a master, but we think that there's a real broad engagement in arts and culture, and we want to embrace that and support that.
Well, some people out there, they're saying, well, most of us don't have whatever it takes to be a really great artist. So why is this inclusion so important?
Well, there's so many benefits that people derive from creative expression. A lot of people find it's a way to bring voice to feelings that are maybe inside. We know a lot of people in recovery find that the arts are tremendously healing, and there's actually a lot of arts and healing going on. Young people who engage in arts and culture, it's literally a way for them to articulate and express their aspirations for themselves. So there's educational benefits, there's psychological benefits, healing benefits, way beyond just sort of the surface that the arts are beautiful and fun to engage in.
And we're a city of immigrants very much, and if you don't have a way to see your culture in its full capacity for excellence and that it's respected widely, I guess that's a problem.
The city of Boston has changed tremendously in the past couple of decades and will continue to change. We're a rapidly growing city. The ethnic diversity has changed over time, and we find that people feel excluded and that their cultures aren't all equitably sort of resourced and recognized and lifted up. So there's a lot of stories in the city of Boston that are not told and really are asking to be told and appreciated and recognized.
Well, there's one broad pattern here, is you have some big funders that like to fund the superstars. Nothing wrong with the superstars, but I guess in other cities it's at least a little different.
Well, we think that there's a lot of room for improvement in terms of equity and inclusion among the large organizations, and we are really coming from a position of strength in Boston. We have amazing cultural institutions that are growing, and we'd like for them, they all want to have more diverse audiences, bring in more people, and they might need some help in achieving that. Not only sort of who's coming through the door, but who's on staff and who's on the board.
Of course, another problem you're looking at here are what you call the compartmentalization of the arts in Boston. Everybody's in their silo, and you don't know much about the other silos.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about this, and this is a geographic issue. It's a sector issue. So within the different arts disciplines, we know that the universities themselves are tremendously siloed among different departments. Some of the universities collaborate, many of the universities don't. So it's multifaceted, and it is between sectors as well.
What about leadership? I mean, we know there's a need for money. There are people who have some money, but I think to make things move in a certain direction, what's the missing piece here?
Yeah, so the mayor has really expressed tremendous leadership in claiming this aspiration for Boston to be a municipal arts leader. He's definitely put his money where his mouth is and has committed resources for growing arts and culture. So he's really expressed this is a priority for the administration, and so he has exhibited that kind of leadership. And by creating this Chief of Arts and Culture position, he has brought back leadership within city government. And then we also, I think, need to work collaboratively as a city. As you know, many of our major institutions have new leadership who are new to Boston and are bringing about a culture shift in how we collaborate and work together.
Of course, in this report, there is just a whole laundry list of pluses and minuses, and I'm wondering what's the process here, because you talk about the need for housing for artists, and yet, you know, well, we've known about that for a while, but what's to be done? I mean, is this where people are going to chip in some ideas, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. So we've had an incredibly inclusive process, and we think that the plan is very well informed by the people of Boston and the needs of the cultural sector. And our challenge is to come up with responses to address those needs. Some of them can move forward right away. We can immediately start making grants to individual artists. And as you know, there's a housing plan in the city of Boston that articulates the need for affordable housing, and bringing new tools and new resources to the affordable housing issue with respect to artists is a little bit of a longer time frame where we really have to grow some new tools and some new resources, and again, exhibit leadership and then have the policies that back that up.
And what about getting more support from some of those non-governmental sources?
Yeah, we've been deeply engaging the arts funder community, those who fund the arts traditionally, and some supporters who maybe haven't supported the arts, and bringing some innovative ideas to them about how they can maybe participate in the implementation of the plan.
Well, what would you say to one of those big funders? I mean, why they should give more money, especially to a program in the neighborhoods?
I think that it's important to understand that to be an innovative and thriving city, we need to support creativity. And in order to do that, we need to support our artists. And artists are in every different neighborhood of the city. And so there's a real need to acknowledge that this is an ecosystem, and it really starts with artists and creative people.
Well, part of the ecosystem here is before 5 on Saturday, people can add their comments, and there's a fairly easy way you can go online and do this?
Yeah, actually we've heard from a lot of people that the comment period is a little short, so we're going to extend that to be close of business on Monday. We're still in a tight time frame, so we couldn't extend it too much, but people can go to bostoncreates.org and look at the plan online and submit their comments right online and see what other people are commenting. But they can also download a PDF and email us at bostoncreates@cityofboston.org or gov, and we can take in comments through the close of business on Monday.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Chief of Arts and Culture, Julie Burrows.